Hey everybody, thanks for coming to watch this video. Today I want to walk you through 5 simple steps on how you can start feeling happy again. From time to time we all find ourselves in a rut, so I wanted to bring some simple, maybe not easy, but simple tools on how to rejuvenate your happiness. The first tip is not a strategy, but more so of a mindset shift. And that's simply that you can't find happiness. You really do have to create it. So we have to put ourselves in the position where we acknowledge what needs to be done, and then we can move into action. So first, we have to acknowledge you cannot find happiness, but you can create it. You absolutely can create happiness. And step number 1, I want you to create a willingness to explore what brings you joy or what makes you happy. I want you to be willing to try new things. I want you to give stepping outside of your comfort zone a chance, because what worked in the past may not currently work for you any longer. It's like, when you buy one of those fancy air fresheners and you plug it in and the room smells great, you're enjoying the scent, but after a couple of days, you really can't smell anything anymore. The same thing goes for like our happiness activities. Sometimes in the past, I really enjoyed watching horror movies, and that no longer brings me a sense of joy. It no longer is pleasurable for me. So I have to be willing to explore. That means looking for new hobbies, looking for new activities, and actually trying them out. All right, guys, number 2 is the willingness to participate in some trial and error. If you go putt-putt golfing and you're like, you know what, this is not my thing, and then you stop being willing to try anything else, then chances are you aren't going to find any activities that you can do regularly that spark joy or create happiness in your life. It's okay for something not to work. The pursuit of happiness, the creation, the building of your capacity to be happy is what's most important. Number 3 is really being strategic and intentional about creating the time, space, and availability to participate in things that make you happy. Maybe you don't need to explore new hobbies. Maybe what you need is to carve out some time that's non-negotiable. Just like we get up and brush our teeth every morning, you're not going to skip over that action, right? Just like you put on deodorant every day, you're not going to skip that. It's very important to you for your overall health and well-being. So just like we put on those hygienic things on our activity list, I want you to be just as intentional and just as strategic about making time for happiness or joy or pleasurable activities, because it is that important. Your brain really does need that spike in order to keep you in a place where you're not miserable and you're able to function at your best. Number 4, which really is one of my favorites, it's setting those boundaries around your happiness activities. It's really learning how to say no to those things that will eat up the time that you've set aside, the things that are in complete opposition to you experiencing happiness and joy. It's really learning where your values are and how to maintain those values. Shameless plug, if you're looking for a way to up-level or establish some healthy boundaries, make sure you check the show notes. The Creating Healthy Boundaries course is now available for you to download. Number 5, be willing to repeat. After you've discovered what it is that brings a spark of joy or enjoyment into your life, I want you to really start being okay with repeating those activities from time to time. Knowing that, okay, I figured out a system that works for me right now. It may not be what works for me forever, but making sure that you go back to it. Just like we refuel our car tanks, our gas tanks, and we recharge our phone batteries, you're going to need to refill your happiness as well. It's just not going to last for infinity. You're going to have to charge it back up. And sometimes that can be discouraging, but knowing that it's part of the process and reminding yourself that you get to create your happiness is going to give you the motivation to keep going. All right. I always do action steps. So, what I want you guys to do is pull out a planner, grab your planner, and take a look at the next few weeks. I want you to look to see what time of day you're going to do your happiness or joy inspired activity. One small thing each and every day. It can be changing the color of your fingernail polish. It can be pulling out those cozy socks and slipping them on. It could be watching something on a streaming platform. It could be fixing your gourmet cup of coffee. It could be going for a walk outside in nature. It can be whatever brings you a spark of joy. One of the things that is silly to most people, but one of the things that brings me joy that's just like simple, it costs me no money, that I do every single day. Before I begin my work day, I make my bed. I know that sounds really silly, but making my bed, having it look crisp and tidy, makes me feel accomplished. Like I've accomplished something for the day. So if everything else goes haywire and doesn't go according to plan, I know that I've completed one something that I don't know where I get that from, but it makes me feel good. So that's why I do it. Finding one little something to put in your day. And if you're feeling really fancy, find a few things to put periodically through the day. One for the morning, one for the afternoon, and one for the evening. Because this is your life. And if you can't craft a custom life that you enjoy, then who's going to do it? All right, now let's think a little bit more long term. We have our daily activity. We have maybe a weekly activity we can throw in there. Maybe you cook your favorite dinner or go out to your favorite restaurant for a meal if the budget allows. Now think of a bi-weekly activity that maybe is something that you wait a little longer for, something that, all right, I'm going to save up for this one. Then we want to think about a quarterly activity, right? Something a little bit bigger, something that's giving us something to look forward to that's a little bit distant from where we are now. Anticipation, when you do give it to yourself, when you are steadfast in the fact that you're going to make it happen, anticipation can pull us along. It can pull us and motivate us to keep moving, even if today is not the best day. You know what? What if January just really sucked? And you're like, but at the end of the month, I know I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. So it helps pull you through those tough days. So short-term and long-term goals. Now, if you've stuck around to the end of this video, I just want to say thank you and remind you that when you find value, you can show your appreciation by liking and subscribing. Also, feel free to join my online community. Link is down below. That way we can chat about what we discuss and you guys can tell me what you want more of. Talk to you soon.